gotten so many requests on the Feminal Society to talk about relationships, red flags, and when you should know when to leave, when to stay, and all of these things. And I thought to myself, who the hell would I be to give you guys this information? Because I had been in some of the most dysfunctional relationships prior to my relationship with my husband. And I was like, how am I going to tell these people like what's good and bad? And because I felt like I definitely was not the one to give out this advice. So I figured today we're going to talk about all the red flags I ignored, that I didn't pay attention to, and all the dysfunctional relationships I had been in, and the green lights, the green flags that I had with my husband when I knew he was the one, and how we continue to nurture this relationship and grow from, you know, point A to where we are now. So if you guys are new here and you're like, look, I am done with this 0, or is this the 1, or is this a red flag, or am I the issue? Am I the bad guy? Like, if you are looking for just some direction in this troubled waters you are trying to navigate in, hopefully I can help and kind of give you guys a little bit of a direction or a little bit of a compass on which way maybe to go, or maybe you just need someone to talk to for background noise and you just want to put me on. Whatever the case may be, my name is Danielle, this is the Feminal Society, and today we're going to talk. Should you drop that 0 and get with a hero, or should you hold on tight and just brave these rough waters? Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back. Today is another episode of the Feminal Society. If you are new here, welcome. I'm so glad to meet you, and hopefully you will stick around and subscribe. On Sundays, we have the Feminal Society. Basically, the Feminal Society was a passion project of mine that was me embarking on a new journey for myself. Basically embracing my feminine energy and becoming a high value woman, and really elevating myself, essentially becoming that girl, and elevating myself not only with my physical appearance, but with my mental health, my spiritual health, my physical health, and just overall improving my whole quality of life and how I perceive it and how I react to situations. And while embarking on this journey for my own well-being, I learned a lot. I've learned a lot in therapy. I learned a lot in my own life, and I figured I could share kind of my way of doing things with you guys in hopes that maybe somebody out there is looking for the same answers or needed to hear this, and this message could reach them. Not everything on the Feminal Society is for everyone. You know, a lot of people aren't open and ready to hear a lot of things, and that's okay. This series will always be here for you to come back to. Today I wanted to talk about troubled relationships, red flag relationships, when to leave, should you leave, should you stay? And, you know, I always find myself when it comes to personal relationships trying not to get involved, right? I have friends who will call me and say, oh, my significant other was cheating on me, or I think they're cheating on me, or, you know, they go out at night and they don't answer their phone. I mean, they'll tell you all these things. And, you know, when I remember in previous situations where I would be like, yeah, dude, I think they're cheating on you, or yeah, that guy's a loser, get rid of him, or, you know, and they will keep the guy and then they drop you. So, you know, it was a very touchy subject that I never really wanted to touch on, because some people don't want to hear the truth. They want to hear what they want to hear. They want you to tell you because they love this person, this man, this woman so much that they truly don't see the big picture, and they want you to solidify what they believe is to be true. They don't want the truth. They want what they believe to be true. So it's hard. And these are one of the things, you know, you don't tell people how to parent their kids, and you stay out of people's personal relationships. So that's kind of where I've been on this topic, but it's been asked. So I was like, look, we gonna talk about it. So my plan with this is not to give you guys advice, but I'm going to give you guys, from my real life experiences, signs that I ignored and I shouldn't have. And signs that I ignored when it was time for me to step up and love myself, and I didn't because I loved them more than me. So let's talk about red flags. And you know them. We know what the red flags are. You don't need me to do a TikTok and be like, he doesn't answer his phone after 7 o'clock. walk away. He doesn't bring you to his house, walk away. He has a secret relationship and he's still married, kind of, but you know, he's working on that divorce, walk away. He has like 10 kids by 5 different women and they all still love him, walk away. Like, these are obvious bullet points, you know, that are very troubling. But what I think is a #1 red flag is when they berate you, when they gaslight you. Gaslighting is a very new term that I actually had to Google, because my kid would always say, yeah, gaslighting you. Basically, gaslighting you is manipulating you, is making you feel like something is basically turning a situation around to make it your fault or you did something to somebody. And for example, I was in a relationship at one point, and this person would go ahead and, you know, he had this thing where, and I was young, I was so young, okay? I started dating Leo when I was 23, so this is, you know, many years ago. And they would go out, right? They would say, all right, so Friday and Saturday, don't call me. I'll call you Sunday night when like the weekend's over. And then I'll be like, well, you know, and I was so dumb, I'd be like, okay. And now I think about it, like, what the hell, you know, but I didn't want to be clingy, and I didn't want to be this. And when I would say like, well, everybody else is like going on dates that weekend, and oh my God, it's always about you. And, you know, I need time to unwind. And I'm like, oh, you're right. And then, you know, you would feel like, oh man, maybe I was. That's a red flag, okay? When somebody needs a break from you so they can go out and have their own life, when you're in a relationship with somebody, your lives are combined. Okay, not saying that you need to be up each other's butts every day, but you know, when they specifically say, I'm not going to talk to you from this day to this date because I have this home, honey, that whole relationship was a giant red flag. Woo. But that's not right. When somebody is having a life and they're excluding you from it, first off, that's a horrible thing to treat you as a person. All right, and the fact is they feel the need that they can talk to you that kind of way. That's another red flag. And if you tolerate it, if you accepted it just once, they're going to keep doing it. So these are things that you have to recognize, and you have to nip in the butt right away, because if you tell them, hey, and that's going to be it. If I would have just said the first time he tried to pull that on me, you know, I don't think so. This isn't going to work. And he tried to flip the script, and I would have been like, you know what, that's fine. You could have, you know what, you could have, you know, the 7 days of the week on your own if you need this much time. Either the relationship would have ended, which it should have, which it eventually did, or, you know, they thought I was worth more and it would have went another way. It wouldn't have. It would have ended. But again, I should have done that. So that's a red flag. When they basically are making out time for themselves and they don't want to be bothered by you, you are an inconvenience to them, that relationship needs to end. If you're furthermore into this relationship, and I hear a lot about commitment. A lot of people are, well, you know, we've been together for 15 years and, you know, he still hasn't gave me my ring and I want to get married and this and that. Why are you still there? And the saying goes, why buy the milk when you can get the cow for free? He's getting the cow. I mean, I'm not calling you a cow, but you know what I mean. Like, why would he commit? You're basically his wife right now anyways, so why would he commit, buy you the ring, have the wedding, do all those other things when you're already fulfilling the position that he needs, and he's free to go anytime he wants? There's no financial obligation with you guys. And I honestly don't think it's a good idea to purchase a house together if you're not married. I just don't think that's a good idea, because that is a commitment you can divorce somebody and just be done with it. But when you got property and investments together, that is a lot, and it's not cut and dry. So that's just my little bits and pieces. I mean, I would not invest in I wouldn't buy a car together. I wouldn't, invest in any property. I mean, so, you know, kids happen, you know, I mean, I've had a kid before I met my husband, so that's one of the things. But when it comes to like financial investments, I would not suggest, you know. And the thing is you know right away if they're the person. I don't care what anyone says. You know right away if they are the person for you. Me and my husband met in April, May. We started dating April, May. He had purchased my engagement ring by that August, and we were engaged that March, and we were married the following year. And I knew, he knew, you know, we got married, I was 25 and he was 30, you know, and we knew where it was it. I just knew. I knew the first time I talked to him on the phone and we hung up. I remember telling a friend of mine at the time, we're going to get married. I'm going to marry him. Because you just know. And the thing is if you wait, and it kind of, I feel like if you're waiting and you're just sitting there like, oh, because I see this on TikTok too, and they're like, oh, no ring yet, no ring yet. Like, it's embarrassing. I think that's embarrassing. Like, you're sitting there constantly reminding, no ring yet, no ring yet. When are you going to do it? And he's like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. No ring yet. That, I find that to be embarrassing. And if you have to remind him that you're looking for this and he's not doing it, it's time to move on. I'm sorry. I think I need to be the voice of reason in this room, but if you're sitting there making TikToks and, you know, reminding him for years and years and years, and you're leaving pictures of rings on the refrigerator, and the note, and he has a million, well, I want to finish paying off my student debt, and then there is going to be somebody, I promise you, that's going to comment and be like, my husband and me, we've waited 15 years to get married because he wanted to make sure we were financially stable. Okay. I'm glad. But for majority of people, I can tell you people right off the bat right now who I know that waited to get married and did all this stuff, and it, you know, they're divorced already. A lot of people that me and Leo got married right around the same time as me and Leo, are now divorced. And they were, you know, waiting on my ring, you know, and it has to happen. It has to be an organic thing. And I never knew, I always thought that was kind of a cliche, crappy, you know, little term, but it's true. It has to be organic, and it has to be passionate, and it has to be mutual. If you are right away, and they'll be like, oh, the girl always knows first. That's so stupid. That is so stupid, because Leo knew just as much. And Leo's not like a Mr. Romance and, you know, ultra feminine guy. He's very much, you know, he has his own little love language that I know, but it's very cut and dry with him. And he knew. He said it right away. He's like, I knew that you were going to be the one. I didn't feel rushed. I didn't feel pressured. I knew it. He had girlfriends before that were long-term girlfriends that, dang, I'll tell you, some of them were better catches than me. I'm like, dang, you should have married old girl. She had some money, okay? She had like a little career going. She was buying you nice things, you know, but he said that I didn't want her. I knew it wasn't it. He knew I was it, and it's as easy as that. So that's one of the things, and I know especially now during the holidays, that happens a lot when you're like, maybe this is the year, maybe I'll get my ring. Don't let your happiness and your forever be determined on somebody asking you to marry them. Because sometimes if you can't find that happiness and peace within yourself without a ring on your finger or that person by your side, then it won't work. Because remember, self-love is the most important love. You need to love yourself before you can love anyone or anything, because it's empty. When you're looking for fulfillment in somebody else or in a relationship or an item, it's not going to be there, and it's not going to be a long-term thing, because eventually that diamond will lose its shine. The wedding will come and go, and guess what? You're married. And now you're married, and you're just home looking at each other. The excitement is gone. What else are you going to ask them for? And then it's going to become, well, now I want children. Now I want a bigger house. Now I want a vacation. Now I want an upgrade. You know, you have to find the contentment in just being with each other and being okay with being you. So that was another red flag. Another red flag, I think, is the way people talk to you. I think it's when somebody else, for example, when your person, I want to say your person loosely, they think that they are, I heard this saying one time, somebody in a relationship, there's always one person in a relationship that loves the other one more. And that's how it works. you know, they'll say, oh, well, I love my husband more than he loves me, or he loves me more than him, or marry an ugly person, because then they'll always treat you. That's the most awful advice you will ever hear. Don't ever go by that, okay? It will not work. It is terrible advice, and don't do that, okay? If that person cannot love you, and my mom used to say, oh, let him meet you 50%. No, you need to bring 100 to the table. 100% of you, 100% of your love, your trust, your emotions, your devotion, and then finances, you know, stability, all that stuff. You need to bring 100%. You can't hold anything back for yourself, because if you have to have this little cushion behind you, like, look, I'm only going to bring like 25 and I'm going to keep that 75 for myself because, look, this may not work and I want to. No, because you're not fully in, and if they have that same mindset, they're not fully in either, and you're always having in the back of your mind that I could take off out of here. When me and Leo got married, I had told him, when I'm getting married, I'm only getting married once, and we're getting married forever. Like, I don't care. This is it. We'll do counseling, we'll do whatever, but we're going to give our kids a stable home, and we're going to have a stable life, and we're going to have a good life, and it's going to be me and you against the world. And that was it. He is my partner. He is my best friend. He is my significant other. He is my children's father. He is my husband. But he's also a man, and I respect him for his position in this home. I don't talk down to him or talk about him or be disrespectful to him to any other person, or like he ain't shit. He ain't shit. He ain't shit without me. I'll leave him right now. See what happens. No, that's why I'm not going to disrespect him like that. And I know he wouldn't disrespect me like that. And if you cannot have that level of mature respect for each other, then there's no need to be together. You need to go ahead and cross that line and just go ahead and go your separate ways. And now I know people say, oh, you make it sound so easy. You're right, it's not easy, but sometimes you got to do the hard stuff, because the hard stuff is where you truly grow and you learn from. And I've had to do that. I had to walk away from relationships because they weren't my forever. And as much as I wanted them to be my forever, as much as I kept forcing this shape into the wrong cutout, and I was like, it's gonna work, I'll make it work. You cannot be in the business of fixing people, changing people, improving people, or doing all of that. You can't change who you are to fit somebody else's mold, because it's never going to work. We're talking about longevity. We're talking about a lifetime. We're talking about a commitment that is going to last you for the rest of your days. And if you don't look at it like that, then it's not worth your time or your effort. Your time is very valuable. There are so many other things, so many other amazing things that you can do from your day-to-day life instead of investing it in people who don't deserve your time. You know, I also hear a lot of people say, well, my husband or my significant other says that, you know, I've gained weight and I don't feel attractive, and they think I don't do anything all day long. This is you allowing them to treat you this way. And I'm going to be honest, and I know this is a hard thing to say, this is also you deflecting what you think of yourself onto your husband's behavior, because maybe they don't think that way. Maybe it's because you one time were a corporate America person, and now you're a stay-at-home mom, and you're not in your business suits, and you're just kind of grinding out, and maybe you did let yourself go, and you know, that's how you feel about yourself, and you're deflecting that into your marriage, into your relationships, into what you think your significant other sees in you. This is the time when you start to feel that way. You need to take a step back and be like, look, did I let myself go? Did I? Did I stop caring about myself? Did I stop putting in the effort? Did I stop doing the things that I did that I used to love because I'm tired or I have excuses? Honey, we're all tired. We're all tired. We've all been there. But I'm going to tell you something that is the truest thing. What you did to get them is what you got to do to keep them. You can't be, I'm not saying that you got to every night is adult time, or, I call it adult time. I don't know. I got kids here, but you got to make time for it, because sometimes that language is that love language, that romantic time is their love language, and that's how they need to feel loved and appreciated. So you have to, and look, I get it. Not every day we want to. I understand that. But you know what? It's about mutual. Maybe not every day they want to hear about what you're doing, but they'll sit there and they'll listen to it. Or maybe not every day they give a crap about your new recipe that you tried out, and they're like, yeah, it's great. Oh, but you give it, it's a give and take, and a lot of relationships for me were always taking and I was always giving, and I never felt respected or appreciated because I wasn't, until I met my husband. And it was the little things that he would do to appreciate me. You know, when he would, you know, stop and, you know, pick up paper plates and plastic cups so I didn't have to wash the dishes, or, you know, he would bring home you know, dinner and so I didn't have to cook that night, or, you know, he would sit down and, you know, tell me, oh wow, the house looks really good, you did a nice job, or, oh, you know, and it was just something like I would just get into it, especially when the kids were little, and I would change, oh, you look nice today. I didn't do much, just brushed my hair and put on a fresh set of clothes, but he noticed, and I was like, oh, thanks, you know. And it's nice to feel appreciated, and it's nice to feel wanted and admired, and we all want that. And if you don't feel like you're getting that, and I'm not saying it's your fault, but I'm saying is, what's the big picture? There's always three sides, right? It's your story, their story, and then the truth. Take yourself and your feelings out of it, and let's see, like, what is it? What happened? Did you lose yourself? Are you mad that your life has completely stopped and you lost you, but they kept going and they still have them? And that is a thing when you're, especially when you're a new mom, your significant other, or even when you're a stay-at-home mom. I feel like, you know, my life stopped, you know, especially when I stopped working outside the house. And, you know, when I did work outside the house, that was my time just to be Danielle. I would get dressed, I would put on my makeup, you know, twice a week, and I would go outside, and I wasn't anybody's mom. I was just me, and I was with the other adults, and I could talk, and, you know, and it was nice, you know. But then I always felt so sad about missing out on so much at home. So it was always that double-edged sword. But Leo, it never changed for him. He got up every day, he went to work, he got dressed, he has, you know, adult interaction. He was still in this routine where my life just closed in here. And it was almost like I was jealous, so I would take it out on him. And it wasn't his fault, you know. It was me and my own feelings. And I feel like that's a lot of stuff too, is, you know, we're very involved in our own feelings. Could we take the chance, the time, if this relationship is worth it, if this is a good person you're with, and you're like, you know, I don't know what went wrong, and this is that, and this is ultimately something where you're just like pissed, take your own and just take a step back and be like, hey, where did it go? Have this conversation with them and see where it goes. It's worth it. The relationship is always worth saving if it's a mutual respected relationship. I hope these are a little bit easier pointers. I can go on for hours, and this video can be really lengthy. Let me know if you guys want me to touch on anything else. This is such a hard, touchy subject, but I want you guys to know that you're beautiful and you're wonderful and you're a blessing and you're appreciated by me, and I know by so many people in your life. But if there is that person who is taking more than what they're giving, and you feel drained and empty and unloved, it's time to walk away, because you're worth more than that. Don't let them steal your shine, because they're not worth it. This is the Feminal Society. My name is Danielle, and please subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, friends.